If you're watching this, it means that I am very, very, very far behind in my reading goals. I have read 87 books out of 100, and I've got some serious work to do. So come along with me for this very chaotic reading vlog as I try to read as many books as possible before the end of the year. Will I be able to do it? Only God knows, but I do have a sticky note filled with books that I'm gonna try and cross off this weekend. Between this week and next week. Starting off with Good Girls Gone Bad, I am listening to the audiobook right now and I'm about halfway through it. So we're gonna start off strong and listen to that while I'm pitter-pattering around the kitchen and things like that. And then I will finish off with another book called Winter by the Sea that I've started, but I've not made that much headway in, so I need to finish that. But we're nothing if not committed in this household to read a lot of books during Christmas time. And I know what you're thinking, Allie, why is it so important to you that you read this many books by the end of the year? It's not that serious. And I know, but we're here to create content. So that's what this vlog is. It's content for you. I'm reading all these books for you guys. So let's get into it. So I'm about almost halfway through A Winter by the Sea. And I just think it's so funny because it's a historical fiction / romance. But for the most part, the writing seems more contemporary. And every so often, they will throw in words like post-haste. And I just find that so funny because if you're gonna do it all the way or not at all. I get that it's historical fiction and it's probably hard to write like you're living in the 1860s and like all of that. Essentially, this book is a sequel, but it takes place in this little like seaside town in England somewhere, and it has to do with these girls that are like kind of running this bed and breakfast place because their father died and they need a source of income so that they don't have to become governesses and like actually get a job. So they're running this bed and breakfast place. And book 1 is about that and the girls, and book 2 is a continuation of that and different girls and like their respective love lives and things like that. But their neighbor for the winter is like the king, or he's the duke. It's Queen Victoria's parents. Okay, so this is before Victoria becomes queen, and it's that time period, so make of that what you will. I don't know how they spoke back then, but again, for the most part, the author writes pretty contemporary, and I forget that I'm reading historical fiction, and then sometimes they'll just throw in words that I'm like, oh yeah, right, that's the time period we're in. But it's just funny because it throws me off. Because post-haste I've never heard anywhere except for in a historical fiction. So yeah, just my 2 cents on historicals. But I really do like this book. This is book 2. I gave book 1, I think I gave it 5 stars. But I really like book 2 so far. But it's pretty big, so I'm hoping I can finish it this weekend. But we'll see. All right, it's been a long day. I'm very excited to relax and keep reading because next up on our list is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. I had my followers on Instagram vote for me and they chose this one, and I can understand why, because this book is probably one of my most anticipated reads of this year. And if you know, you know, I am a huge fan of Once Upon a Broken Heart, Caraval, everything that has to do with Jax, the Prince of Hearts. And this is a novella that takes place in the world of Caraval. I'm not really sure what else is involved with this, but it's completely illustrated, which is cool. So I'm excited about that. And also it's really short. So I think that's gonna help me with my reading goal. Also, I didn't film this, but I listened to The Great Gatsby because it was only 5 hours long and I was able to just zip through it. Raspberry Tea, by the way, is slept on. But yeah, The Great Gatsby actually ended up being really good. I saw the movie, obviously. Everyone knows what The Great Gatsby is about or who The Great Gatsby is, but reading it and like focusing on what the themes are in the book and like the time in which it was written, post World War, the jazz era, before the Depression, like so many things were happening when F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote The Great Gatsby. So knowing that and then reading it, you're like, wow, crazy perspective. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads just because as a classic, did it really engage me? Like, was it thrilling to read? Not necessarily, but it was so well written and I appreciated the prose. I appreciated the motifs and how Jay Gatsby was written and all the side characters. It was really good. But now we're moving on to bigger and better things. So we're gonna start with Spectacular. I'm gonna take off my book cover and we're gonna get started on this novella. And yes, novellas do count as books, by the way. Just saying. So essentially what this book is, Donatella, who you would remember from the Carvel series, she is struggling to get a gift for Legend, and it's like the night before Christmas, or in this, they call it the Great Holiday, so it's like the Great Holiday Eve, I guess, and she has to get a gift before midnight to give it to him, and she's like freaking out. She wanted to stop the holiday from even happening, so that's kind of what we're at. This is a story of her searching for the perfect gift. So very cutesy, kind of ridiculous, but the illustrations are crazy beautiful. Like, why aren't all books illustrated? Hear me out. If I ever write a book, I will have it illustrated. Just saying. Because this is such a treat to read and then see and visualize the world that I'm reading. I love it. We're making headway. I've only been reading for like an hour or so and I'm almost halfway through with it, so. Good morning. It is the next day and I'm actually almost done reading Spectacular. I thought I was gonna get through it all in one go because it's so quick, but I ended up just getting too tired and I fell asleep. But as you can see, I only have this much left of the book. Pretty much every page is like an illustration and then like a little bit of text, so it really is a short story and it reads kind of like a Christmas tale you would read to like your kids before bed, except not really. Yeah, so I would say the writing is a little choppy, but I think it's meant to be so because it's this like whimsical, kind of unserious, Christmassy time story. So yeah, but it's cute. We're getting through it. It counts as a book. Finished Spectacular, and it was spectacular. Very cute, very whimsical, magical writing that Stephanie Garber is just known for. And the bonus epilogue at the end, I don't know if it's in every edition, but the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition had a bonus epilogue or just an epilogue, I don't know. And it hinted at a future book back in the Magnificent North with like the Once Upon a Broken Heart people and the Carvel people. So if we get like a crossover little mini series or book, that would be lovely. But we're now moving on because I have a sticky note and these are kind of some of the books that I had planned to read during this reading vlog. So Spectacular, we just finished. The Great Gatsby, finished. Good Girl Gone Bad, I also just finished. So I downloaded As Good as Dead, which is book 3 in that little trilogy by Holly Jackson. So I'm gonna start that one today. I use Cloud Library for my audiobook reading and it's awesome. There's always so many books on there, so we're gonna give it a go. I've actually really enjoyed this mystery. I don't typically go for any type of YA books other than fantasy, so this has been a treat because it's actually a really good series and I like the thriller aspect without it being too dark. It's just fun. It's a fun time. I will say that the characters kind of bother me, but they are teenagers, so there's that. I have to give them some grace. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna come up with in book 3 because it's like the same town, same characters. What more mystery do we need to do, or like thrilling adventures can there possibly be? She just seems to have really bad luck, our main girl. Pip is her name. So yeah, it should be a good time. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on with the rest of my day, listen to some audiobooks, and I'll just take you along with me. Excuses for the stuffy voice, but we're currently dealing with a slight sniffle situation. That being said, I did start Since We've No Place to Go by Kate Watson. I have read one of her books earlier this year. It was like a fall themed rom-com. This is obviously a Christmas themed one, and it has to do with like a baseball player and like a data sports analyst chick. Kind of a slow start, pretty cheesy, but it's kind of cute. We're here for it. I chose it specifically for the Christmas vibes and just like a sweet, clean rom-com. I think this would definitely be a prime Hallmark movie because there is a scene where they're stuck together for quite some time and having to like work through things. So that was kind of fun. I am like 80% of the way through. It's just like a quick read, so I'll probably be able to finish it tonight. It is currently December 23rd, so happy Christmas Eve. I do intend on finishing this book today and then also finishing the audiobook that I've been listening to, which is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. That's book 3 in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. This one's also good too. I feel like it's a lot happening in this poor girl's life. Very, very not relatable at all, but we're just here for the plot, honestly. So that's the tea. I'm like halfway through it and I'm listening to it at 1.8 speed. So we're trying to fly through here. But I think between today and tomorrow morning, I can get through both of these and then I will have 94 books under my belt. So yeah, we're gonna get back to reading. The sun has set. It's cozy land over here. Like, you can tell the vibes are definitely giving Christmas, winter, and I love it. So yeah, back to reading and I will give you an update once I'm finished with this book and I'll tell you my thoughts on this Christmas rom-com. What a day it has been. I gotta say, this last few days of the year have been bananas. I actually just finished taking my real estate end of course exam. If you want to know more about that, let me know in the comments because I could do a whole like life update video. But anywho, we finished taking the test. I passed. And now I'm gonna read. I finished Since We've No Place to Go by Kate Watson and I have thoughts. Honestly, I think when it comes to Christmas books and like rom-coms of that nature, your expectations just need to be brought down just a little bit. So I did, and it was cute. It was fine. It was a sports romance with a very mild enemies to lovers, not even necessarily enemies. It was almost a Pride and Prejudice type of situation where our main female character just had all these assumptions about our boy, who I absolutely hated the name of. His name was Cooper Kellogg. He sounded like a serial character and it really bothered me every time they would mention his full name, but I digress. Once you got past the whole Pride and Prejudice type of storyline and you started to see them become friends and get together, get to know one another and kind of learn more about their backstory, it was cute, it was wholesome, nothing crazy. We did have some diversification in terms of like mental health, grief, so they brought in a lot of different scenarios for people. I think maybe to make the story like relatable. So if that is something that interests you, then maybe check out this book. I thought the cover was really cute. I think Kate Watson has just really cute closed door romances on KU. So if you like reading on your Kindle, check her out. I gave it a 3 stars because it was a fun read, but nothing really worth bringing up to a 4 or 5 stars, but it was cute. Like, I don't really necessarily have any qualms with it. It was just a cute little rom-com for Christmas time. However, I also finished As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. That's book 3 in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. And what the actual heck? That is probably one of the worst books I've read all year. And I don't say that lightly. I actually did not think I was gonna give a book 1 star this close to the end of the year, especially since book 1, I wanna say I gave 5 stars or at least 4.5 stars. No, it was so bad. It was so bad. If you've read this series and you liked book 3, we need to have a serious chat. My first question is, who hurt you? My second question would be, did you like Rory Gilmore from Gilmore Girls? Because if you watched that show and thought she wasn't the villain by the end of the day, we gotta have some words, because this book was absolutely terrible. She reminded me so much of Rory. She became a person by the end of this book that I would never want to associate with. She became the people that she was running away from this whole series, aka a villain. And I just, no. And to the people on Goodreads who liked her character, understood her storyline and where she was coming from, absolutely not. Without getting into any spoilers, everything she did was not okay. No matter the excuse. No, absolutely not. So yeah, I gave a book 1 stars on Christmas Day. I think I finished it. So yeah, it is actually December 27th, and we're moving on to bigger and better things because I cannot end the year on such a bad note. So we've got 2 more books that we're reading right now. My audiobook is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Now, I don't know if this is a short story. Here is the cover, if you can see that at all. It is a Japanese book that they translated into English, so I'm not even gonna try and say who the author is, but essentially the premise is you go into this coffee shop and you're able to travel back in time to decisions that you've made in the past. I don't know if you can change anything or if it will change your future at all, but you are allowed to go to your past for the length of time as it takes for your coffee or your tea to get cold. And I think that is a really interesting. So yeah, we're gonna read that. It's 6 hours long on my audio at 1.8 speed. So we are zipping through. My new reading goal is to hit 95 books this year, because let's be real, I'm not gonna hit 100 books. I've got other things to do, but that's okay. We're gonna listen to that book, and then we are also reading another Christmas/winter themed romance that I found on KU. It was actually recommended to me by a friend. It's called A Sprinkle of Christmas Magic, and they're just cute. I feel like KU books are like, there's nothing crazy about the covers. They're just illustrated people, kind of cheesy, but this is very much a Hallmark small town romanced love story with a baker from a big city who comes into her small town that she grew up in to help out her grandma, and the main male love interest is a single father and a veterinarian, and it's kind of their love story. So it's very heartwarming, it's very cute, and it's also very short. So that is kind of the plan going into this weekend. It is currently Friday, December 27th. Only a couple days left before the new year, and I just need to get these books done and I will hit my goal of 95 books, which is super exciting. So I will just get to reading and I'll give you some updates along the way if anything crazy happens within these 2 books. I have high hopes for my audiobook. I think that may be a 5-star read. Good morning and happy December 30th. I just got to Pilates and I was listening on the way to Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Things are definitely picking up in terms of storylines. So we do have multiple little mini stories within this cafe and within this concept of being able to time travel to your past in order to, rectify a wrong or talk to somebody one more time or whatever. It is very sweet. There have been a couple of stories that made me cry. So it's very, very sweet. I do like the concept. I don't know if things are changing though in terms of the future. I know they can go into the past and they can't change their present circumstance, but does that impact their future? I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm at, but I'm gonna go ahead, chug this Gorgie. This is the flavor Sparkling Citrus Burst. So good, by the way. Do my cardio sculpt Pilates class and then come home, have some breakfast, and finish reading. At the home stretch, it is December 31st, and what time is it? 5:48 p.m. And I have 5 more minutes left of my audiobook. It's the last book of the year, so we're gonna finish it at the gym. We just got here, so let's finish off the last book of the year and the last workout of the year. Funnily enough, that last clip, the gym ended up being closed and we couldn't go work out. We walked right in and they kicked us right back out. But that's okay because on the way home, I finished Before the Coffee Gets Cold and I cried my eyeballs out in the car and my husband thought something was wrong with me. But that just means that it was a 5-star read. Incredible ending, incredible stories. I recommend Before the Coffee Gets Cold to anybody. I think it even could be a book you would reread every year. If I'm not mistaken, there are multiple versions of that story or of that book. They have different titles. I'll put pictures up here, but there was just something so beautiful and wholesome about the stories within the cafe. While we get the perspective, like third person, of each individual that comes in wanting to take a seat at this table in order to go to the past or future or whatever, we also get the perspective of the barista who is serving the coffee, and she is wondering, and this is a question throughout the book, is what is the gain from going back to the past? If you can't change your current circumstance by talking to the person in the past that let you down, that you accidentally hurt, that is no longer here, or whatever, how does that change your future? What impact could happen if their current situation won't change? And I thought how they answered that question at the very end to be so beautifully said, and I won't spoil it. You're just gonna have to read it for yourself. But it was the perfect way to end 2024, and I'm so proud of myself. I read so much that last week and a half of the year. I was pretty behind, and so I'm just glad that I was able to knock out 95 books. My original goal was 100, but life happens and that's okay. I hope that whatever your reading goal was, if you met it, that's great, and if you didn't, that's okay too. But what was your favorite book of 2024? Let me know in the comments down below. I will be doing a video very soon on my favorites and least favorites of the year, so stay tuned for that because there are some serious recommendations coming at you, so prepare yourself. But if you stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching. I will leave more book recommendations right down below, but until next time, I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye!